Okay, so it's Randy here.
More platform. Sorry, Randy.
It's Randy here with the Empowering Women to Succeed Blab Series. I'm excited to have Ellie Savoy on with me, and I apologize, but she's blurry today. But I do want to send out a huge shout out to Scott Patton, who helped me learn a little bit about the blabs and the technology and how it works. So thank you, Scott. I know you're not on the blab, but I want to thank you for your help. And I'm excited to be here and talk to Ellie, although I think Ellie has to reinstall her drivers or something, so she'll have to figure it out after. And I apologize that we can't see Ellie, but maybe I can put your business Facebook here, the link on the screen, on the chat, and then people can see a clear picture of Ellie.
And they can see what I really look like.
You can see how beautiful you really are. Okay, here, I'm copying the link, guys, and I'm going to give you the link. Please click over and check out Ellie.
Oh, gosh, we've got some tech issues, Randy.
Well, you hear me.
They can hear me, but they can't hear you.
I can't help it. There's no settings that I have. So let's carry on. So Ellie, can you tell us a little bit about you and let us just get to know you. Who is Ellie as a person?
Ooh, Ellie as a person.
Ellie as a person.
I think that the way I am in life, in business, is just the same. No matter what I'm doing, I'm just the same person. And some people have said to me, you know, friends, oh my gosh, we'll say one day we knew you when. And I said, no, you won't, because I'll never change. And so I really like helping people. My first memory was from the age of 6 in infant school in England, when I helped this little boy who actually passed away at 7. He had some illness. Don't know what it was actually, but he wasn't able to write in his own books. And back then I had his handwriting, so I was asked to do his book work. And I just remember a feeling of it feeling good to help somebody else. And that's sort of been the theme throughout my life. But the difference now, and it's become my work, is that I know how to be helpful to people without neglecting myself. So that's a really big shift I've made in my own life.
Awesome. Awesome. And so now you help people all over the place. And I know you wrote a book. I know you wrote Empowering Women to Succeed. That's why you're here and talking with us. But you also wrote another book before. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, it's called Stop Dieting, Start Living.
There you go.
It's my message. It's my passion. There are millions of people everywhere stuck in the drama of diets. And that was my story. You know, it's a $60 billion+ industry.
Oh yeah.
We go, you know, we try this one and it works, and then we stop, and then the weight comes back, and then we think, well, we'll try that one again, or maybe we'll try a different one. And it just never sets us free. And quite by chance, really, a catalyst, a health thing in my life came up in 2011, and it ended up becoming my catalyst for change. So I love helping others break free from that trap. It's a trap. It really is a big, big trap. And I'm all for profits. It's fine for people to make profits, but I can't stand it when it's preying on somebody's weakness.
Right.
You know, and when somebody's dealing with excess weight that they don't want, it's really, they're vulnerable, you know, and the next best thing, or looks to be the next best thing, is what people will gravitate towards. So I teach how to make this a lifestyle, and it's something I live day in and day out, like getting dressed and brushing my teeth.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And you know what? I really commend you for the commitment there because it's hard. You know, I even know for myself, I was always thin all my life. And then, started with my husband, and he wasn't exercising at the time. I stopped exercising, and we went out every single night. We both gained 50 pounds our first year. And it was like, how did you not see it coming? And it was like, boom, there it was. And all of a sudden, now there's an issue. So the rest of my life has been up and down. I never had to watch what I ate. I never had to deal with that. So now it's this struggle of trying to figure out. And then you get older, right? And then hormone thingies happen, and you've got those issues to deal with. So, I'm feeling everything you say, but I know how difficult it is. It's unbelievably difficult to stick to it. So the fact that you do, I bow down to you.
Well, thank you, Randy. But I do want to say, hopefully this will help, because I'm all about shifting perception. I'm about a lot of things, but our perception around something often keeps us stuck in the status quo. So for me, it's not work. It's a passion. It's like, think about something that you love in your life that's a passion. I know how passionate you are about your book series, Empowering Women to Succeed, and your work of helping others to succeed.
Yeah.
So when something is a passion, we find the time for it. And right. So that's actually in my book. That's the 5th P. My book is based on a foundation of 5 Ps, and passion and perception are just 2 of them. So
right.
For me, see, the thing is, like you said, you put on 50 pounds. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen overnight that it all comes off. But right. It can easily come off without effort, just by making a few changes and just starting somewhere, not trying to do everything like most of us do when we're looking for a change. So right. It's really to make the decision if it's a priority, how much, and then we blame our hormones. I did that too. When I turned 35, I blamed my metabolism. Then when I turned 40, I blamed my hormones. And then when I had this wake-up call in 2011, that was the turning point for me. But I get acupuncture regularly. There's certain foods that will create that are endocrine disruptors, which is a lot of people with thyroid problems today, a major gland on the endocrine system. And if we just look at our bodies as a whole, instead of this piece and that piece, it's like an orchestra. If one instrument isn't tuned in properly, it's not going to sound as good. And the body's right. We tend to look at it as separate pieces when it's a system all working together. And I don't get too hung up on that side of things. I'm all about really trying to bring people back home to themselves and common sense, because common sense has gone out the window. We're doing things all the time that we know aren't good for us. So there's no common sense around a lot of decisions that are being made today. Right. I want to be around for a long time, but I don't want to be around, feeling old and full of aches and pains and too much weight on my body that slows me down. I really want to be all that I can be in this body. And so it's a joy for me now. It really is. I'm not a phony. I do walk my talk, and I just really, really love to be able to help others get this same kind of freedom. But it all starts with, saying yes to ourselves.
Well, I absolutely love that, Ellie. And I know you live your passion, and you look so happy doing what you do. It just exudes from you. And we had the pleasure of meeting you at the end of May at the Empowering Women to Succeed book launch. And, all the energy I feel from you through Skype or through this blab or on the phone, I saw in real life, which was absolutely wonderful. So I'm glad that you found your passion and that you're able to live it. And not only that, but you teach it to people every single day. So that's, it's awesome. But can you tell us some of the biggest challenges you see people facing out there?
Yeah, two of the big ones is time and money. So to me, going back to the common sense, if we really take a look at where we're spending our time, then usually we have time to take care of ourselves.
Right.
I know what a rabbit hole social media can be. The busier I get, the more involved I am, and the more there is to do on social media, even though I schedule posts and things like that. But there's just nothing that will compromise me making a healthy meal, taking care of myself. And so we have to create the time. We have to make space, like we make time to sit in the hairdresser's chair, like we make time to lie down and have a massage. We make time for things that we want or need. And the other one is about money. People will say, even sort of turn their nose up a bit at, let's say, strawberries, organic strawberries in season might be like $7 a pound. And yet, berries are one of the most heavily sprayed with pesticides, and definitely one food to select as an upgrade to an organic variety. But just think about how much gets spent on coffee every day, for example.
Right.
It's like, how do we want to spend our money, and how do we want to spend our time? And I know that none of us want to be spending our time lying in a hospital bed or lying in our own bed at home because we don't feel well. And I know we don't want to spend all of our hard-earned money on medical bills. So it really is time to just reflect and look and say, well, how do I want to spend my time, and how do I want to spend my money? And there'll be really good wake-ups for people. I mean, it's a very good place to start.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because, like you said, what is it, a $60 billion?
Yeah,
not 6 billion, 60 billion?
60, yes.
So I'm sure there's more than a few challenges out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's what I mean. I was just, I was in England actually at Christmas time with my husband, and we had this beautiful cottage we found on Airbnb. And for some reason, I had done the checkout date wrong. There's something on Airbnb, like it seems like the day you choose is the day that you leave, but it's not. So we ended up having to leave the place a day earlier before we came back to New York. And the host was so gracious. He actually put us into a hotel in the town.
Well,
yes, I lost my drift there because I'm trying to think what I can do to cool myself down here. I've turned my AC off because of the noise. Anyway,
really? Okay.
Where was I going with that? Airbnb. Oh boy, too many things going through my head at times, and then I lose my drift. But
it has to do with challenges.
Yeah, I wanted to make a really interesting point there. Let me see. We stayed in a hotel. You know what? Hopefully it'll come back to me. It was something to do around what we're speaking about, of course. But
that's okay.
I've just lost the plot on it.
That's okay. It'll come back to you, and when it does, we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, until you remember, what is your philosophy? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, as I sort of mentioned a little bit already, but it's based on 5 Ps. And when I turned my own life around, I didn't know, of course, that I would be teaching this. So I love simplicity, even though I got away from it for many years. And when I reflected on how I got to where I am, it really came down to these, it's more than this, but it came down to these 5 P's. So it's priorities, perception, priorities, pretending, perception, plan, and passion. And so it is a philosophy around how we view those 5 things and how those 5 steps can lead us to this freedom from yo-yo dieting and yo-yo self-care. And in my book, there aren't any recipes in there. That was deliberate because this book was really, it's a mindset. You know, it's to get into people's heads a bit. And for them, so many people have said to me, they felt like I was speaking directly to them. They felt
Right.
it's encouraging, it's not scorning people, because that's, sometimes I feel like I just want to shake people, not literally, but you know, come on, wake.
Sure, Ellie,
You know,
we know those rages come up, right?
but you know, because I really want people to be free of that struggle. So sometimes it's like I just want to say stop, but you know, I do come from a place of love with my message. And I just really want people to embrace the simplicity that really is available to them to make this shift into a healthier lifestyle. And that's the key right there, a lifestyle. And it doesn't mean you're locked into anything. You can still have things that you like, but just with more awareness and more consciousness. And if we choose it, enjoy it. I mean, I still eat chocolate. I still drink wine, red wine. I don't drink as often as I used to. I usually have organic dark chocolate. I never used to like it, but I absolutely love it now, especially a minty one. I love this mint one. So I just don't feel deprived at all. If I did, I probably would be struggling.
Well, you know, that's the part of it that people have to be able to get past, right? They have to be able to get past that initial difficulty. And if they're not willing to get through those first couple weeks or whatever they are, then, you know, then it's more difficult. But also, like for me, I know what happens is that I might be really good for, say, 3 months, 6 months was the longest I went. And when I say really good, I mean of just about never eating anything bad, right? And like completely living a total healthy lifestyle. And then all of a sudden I'll start eating pizza or I'll start eating whatever. And in 6 weeks, I can gain back everything that I lost in that 6 months. I'm really good at that. So, you know, it's a mindset. It's a mindset to turn on and it's a mindset that turns off. And how do you, you know, and I've talked about this with other people, how do you not allow that shift to happen, you know, where you can do it once, but not have to start doing it every single day and gain all your weight back or start being unhealthy again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that mind control that you have to get past.
Exactly. This is an area, you know, this is not the first time I've heard this from someone. It's really what's underneath that. You know, what is it we're self-sabotaging? Let's say we got hit by a car because we stepped out too soon. The next time we're crossing the road, we'd be more careful, wouldn't we? You know, we wouldn't want to be hit by the car again.
Right.
But when it comes to food and our lifestyle choices, it's a slow motion crisis. There isn't an instant, unless somebody has acid reflux or they're gassy. I mean, that is an instant reaction to what's been eaten. But you know, some disease isn't going to show up just, you know, in the moment. And so it's very interesting why we can fall off that proverbial wagon so often. But another key piece is to is to really let go of this. Is something I really encourage, the words good and bad. You know, we learn them from such a young age.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, think of it in terms of it just is what it is.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you have pizza, and if you enjoyed it, then fine. But
Right.
then we get into this negative self-talk. You know, we're not good enough. I'll never have the body I want. I don't have enough willpower. And really, that's another thing that can get in our way, because this isn't about willpower. This is just about flowing, not pushing and forcing and trying to fit something. Just flow with it. Just literally let go of the struggle. And by the way, I've remembered what I was going to say about the Airbnb and ended up in a hotel. We put the TV on, and which we hardly ever do at home. Our TV hardly ever goes on from 1 month to the next, unless there's some show we're watching on PBS.
Right.
But as soon as I put the TV on, the news was on, and it was the announcement that Oprah became a large shareholder in Weight Watchers.
Right.
And I absolutely gasped. And I've always been a fan of Oprah. I feel like she does so much. She's such a powerhouse in the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good. But to become a shareholder in Weight Watchers, it crushed me. I was just like, oh my God, I've done that program so many times. It works, but it never sustained me. And
right.
And I just felt like, wow, you know, it's freedom of speech. I still love Oprah, but it was really shocking for me, since she has struggled so much with her weight over the years.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
It's you know, different things work for different people. And my model is not something you know, you'll be in and out of for the rest of your life. Once you really embrace these principles, you're good to go.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that. We do have a question. How would you handle your meals when traveling? Real Wealth asked this wonderful question. That's gorgeous.
Oh, I love that question. Oh, I love that question. Well, it depends on where I'm going, and if it's in this country or out of this country, etc. When I came up to Canada for the Empowering Women to Succeed event, I did pack all of my food with me because I was driving, and I don't cook when I'm away, but I did pack up some already cooked foods. I had there's this chia seed and gluten-free oat, like a pudding. It's a really lovely consistency, and it has cinnamon in it and some non-dairy milk. I usually make hemp milk. It's 15 seconds, you've got hemp milk. And so I had that for breakfast, and it doesn't even take 5 minutes to make it. And I had a batch of that for breakfast. I had different things for my lunch. It was an 8-hour drive, almost 500 miles. I did not stop at, you know, some place on the side of the road to get fed. I did stop for a pit stop for the bathroom, but that was it. And so when I can stay in a hotel, and I knew they had a fridge, then I know I can prepare to that extent. Right. If I'm going to like I was when I went to San Diego to an event, they had a fridge as well. But the other thing I do is I check out what local health food stores are in the area that I'm going to. So when we were in England for Christmas last year, we took quite a bit with us that we wanted, you know, when we were there. But they also had a couple of health food stores in the town. And so we went down there and bought some things when we arrived. I've always got food with me, some snack, a smoothie, something. I've always got water with me. I'm amazed at how many people travel when they travel with me, like just, you know, we're going somewhere for a couple of hours. They don't even have anything to drink with them. They'll go for 2 hours without sipping on any water. So, you know, I travel with food to the extent that I can, but I always do as much as I can. I'm not looking to, I never say to myself anymore, oh good, I'm going away, I don't have to cook. I mean, I
Right.
don't cook when I'm away, but I'm prepared to eat well when I'm away. So I hope that answers the question.
Perfect. And I know that when we went to like Chicago and we looked for, Gordon says yes and thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Oh, that's done real well. Oh.
But I know when we went to Chicago to do our speaking course with James Dentley, Inspired to Speak, the first thing we did was go and look for the local health food store and went shopping. You know, we had a fridge in our room. I had brought, whatever I could bring with me on a plane. So protein powders. I even brought like a hand blender and a big, huge, fat plastic cup that I could, blend so I could go buy kale or avocado or whatever, and picked up some plates and cutlery, plastic stuff and whatnot so that I could do stuff in my room. And that was when I was eating like super, super, super healthy. They had this amazing looking pizza that was like this fat and full of cheese, and
Ew,
oh my god, I was
yum.
dying. I wanted to have it so bad.
Oh, that would make me want to. Oh, that's
And I did
awful.
it, and I went to my room and I ate the what do you call it, the rotisserie chicken that I bought from the health food store. And yeah, it was crazy. So it's funny because Gordon keeps mentioning that he can't hear
I
me.
know, I can see that in the chat.
And I don't know why he can't hear me, because my firewall is off. So I don't know. Ellie, you can say what I'm saying out loud because he can't hear me, and ask anybody else if they're able to hear me.
Hey, Gordon, Randy's firewall is off. So she doesn't know what the problem is. And I'm all fuzzy and we don't know what the problem is. I just showed up in my PJs. You wouldn't have known, you couldn't have seen me properly.
I have no idea. But yeah, it's work. It's not easy. And to go to the fast food restaurant is easy, or to go to any restaurant is easy, or to stop for a pit stop and grab some food is easy, right? But I think the whole idea of eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle is the preparation. And I think that can, and I don't want to burst anybody's bubbles, but the reality is it can be discouraging sometimes, because you'll be excited and passionate and ready to go. And then all of a sudden, I don't feel like making my smoothies anymore. I don't feel like making eggs anymore. I don't feel like, all of a sudden it becomes a chore. So that's a great question, actually. How do you get past that mindset of thinking these things are chores? Like, initially, and you're excited and you see action happening and whatnot, but then say after a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, really? I got to go down. I got to cut up the avocado, and I got to go clean this, and I got to go pour this and find 10 different ingredients to put into my smoothie or whatever it is that you're making, right? How do you get past that? Like, how do you not come to the point where it becomes tedious and you don't feel like doing it anymore?
Well, planning is a big piece of that. So in the beginning, I wasn't in my kitchen every day cooking a meal from scratch. I got into the swing of what I teach is to batch, and I can actually show people how to cook twice. And I recommend, or what I used to do is a Sunday and a Wednesday, and then
Okay.
enough food for those days without being bored as well. So I have a spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, a form that I created. It's color coded and shows how to cook, it gives ideas of certain things, and then how to have it, like you have it for dinner today and then lunch tomorrow, but with something else. So it could be a salad tonight and then some vegetables tomorrow, or some pasta. Here's the thing, is if people go too fast with this, this is basically what I feel the problem is. It's like too much too soon. It's going from trying to fit a mold again, trying to be good at everything. And so if we're not really, I think when we stop doing it, it's because we've gone as far as we can for now. It's like a baby, when they learn to walk, they take a step or two and they might fall over, but they have a little tantrum, you know, maybe, but they get back up. So if somebody has gone 6 months on a healthy path and then they fall down, just start when you're ready. Instead of like,
okay, but what if you're not ready? Like, sorry to interrupt, but like, what if I'm only talking from my own experiences, but it has taken me over time, when I sit there and wait for my mindset to come back, a couple of years.
well, that's why, like somebody like myself, a coach, is really helpful. You know, anybody who succeeds at anything pretty much has a coach. You know, look at athletes. They're gonna have their off days. They're not gonna want to train for their Olympic race or the marathon, or, you know, everybody has their off days. But people that succeed are in a certain mindset, and are easier on themselves. You know, that's a big piece too, is to not beat ourselves up about it. But like I said earlier, when we want something badly enough, we will find a way. It's like you know, water will always find a way, right? You know, it will always find a way to go through somewhere. It's like that in our lives. We will find the way. But if when we fall off track, see, the accountability and the support is huge for making any lasting change. And if we keep trying to do something by ourselves and we don't get to where we want to go, then it's probably time to seek help, you know, from whoever that person connects with, to help them do it. Obviously, I'm a coach and I do that. But we all need to be raised up at times. You know, we need that encouragement. And then oftentimes we'll be hanging out with people who are always talking about their weight, always talking about what they're depriving themselves of. It's like, it's a big conversation. It's like the weather, you know, it's a real big conversation. So, but back to you, Randy. If you went that length of time and then you got bored with it, it's like there's something underneath that. Because I know, I can pretty much say for a fact that when you were eating well, you felt very differently in a positive way.
Yes, yeah. I did. And I think, you know, and I'm very conscious of this. So we're picking on Randy today, but, you know, I know lots of people out there are feeling the same way that I feel. So I'm happy to share this. And that's what Empowering Women to Succeed is all about, is sharing our challenges. So I'm laying it out there and being vulnerable. But, you know, I think part of it is being accountable. Like, I don't want to work for somebody because I don't want them bitching at me. I don't want to this because of that. I don't want a coach or somebody watching me and making me report to them about what I eat, because what if I screw up, and what if I, you know, do all these terrible things because I'm not perfect. And all of a sudden I have to be accountable to somebody. And what I found, even you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, is that when I did hire on, say, a fitness coach who was also doing nutrition, and I had to be accountable, all of a sudden I screwed up quicker. All of a sudden it was like I really fought back against the accountability part. And I think somehow I struggle with that. Not consciously, but I'm conscious that that could be a big issue.
So were you a rebel when you were a child?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. tomboy, rebel, stinker, did all the little bad things that you're supposed to do as a kid. Yep.
So you've still got that.
But I was also an A student. I also took my schoolwork very seriously. I was an A student, but yeah, I partied too, you know, and I caused a little trouble and, you know, led the way for my brother who didn't follow. And yeah, so here I am. But yes, yes. And growing up in a single parent home, I had my dad around, but I didn't live with him. And, you know, I'm not blaming anything. I'm just giving some quick background.
Yeah.
But
all these factors, you know, it's like looking at the whole picture. You know, it's like putting together a puzzle. You know, you kind of start with the corners. Remember, I haven't done a puzzle in years, but you get the 4 corner pieces, and then you get the outside pieces, and then you get the colors for the middle pieces, and sort of put those together, and then you build the puzzle. And it's
right.
with life. You know, it's a journey. It's not a destination. And there's so much from our childhoods that plays into our choices in adult life, whether it's how we relate to food, how we relate to other people, you know, the types of relationships that we have. This is why the holistic approach that I take is far more encompassing than just being told what to eat. And that's another big thing I don't believe in, is that we should never be told what to eat. We're different. You know, everything I do for myself could be totally wrong for you, Randy, you know, because none of us no two people are the same. So it's that bio-individuality and really honoring ourselves as much as we want to. And exactly. Like, I know things used to be such a chore for me as well years ago. We used to eat out like 4 nights a week minimum. And I gained a lot of weight when I came here to America. And I chuckle a bit because nobody was pinning me down and forcing me to eat everything I was eating, you know, because my taste buds changed. The portion sizes here are huge. And so I wanted more. Right. But now I don't. I mean, I really like taking care of myself. And that's one of the things that happened when I had this uterine fibroid diagnosis. I avoided a hysterectomy. Was that I realized how I was enjoying taking care of myself. And I know that I'm in my 50s, and there's so many women, 40s, 50s, and probably into 60s now, you know, and even beyond, that are really struggling in this area. And it's like they're the old me. And I don't say that I'm better. I'm not better. It's just I've learned how to make this something that's enjoyable, that I do because I enjoy it, not because I'm trying to fit a mold or trying to look something that I'm not. You know, it's just what you see is who I am. And I know that there's a big struggle out there, and I really do want to help as many people as possible really get past this this thing in their life that consumes them so much. And I know I'm not a know-it-all, but I know the struggles because they were mine. Right. And you know, food used to take up so much room in my head. It just oftentimes I'd eat my lunch by 10 o'clock because, you know, in jobs that I had in the past where I was bored. See, there's a lot of triggers like that. We eat because we're bored. We eat because we're lonely. We eat because we're stressed. It becomes entertainment. And we take our emphasis off, is it nutritious or non-nutritious? And then we start calling it good and bad, you know, this type of stuff. And we do so many things that we're not conscious about, like, you know, let's say you're watching a movie at home and it's like, oh, get a bag of chips or pretzels or popcorn. And some people don't necessarily know they're doing that because it's their norm. It's what they're used to doing. It's just what they do. And so there's no connection to that. Not that it's wrong, just that if we don't know what we're doing, we can't really change it. Right. So So I put all this together. It's like, this is why it took me almost a year or so to put this course together that I have. It's online. It's all on video, different lengths of video. You can stop it at any time. Oh geez, my thing just popped up. You can stop it at any time, pick up and start where you want. I made it so that it's so user friendly and it's so step by step and logical. And this is another reason why, if somebody thinks that cleansing is a good approach to losing weight and cleaning up their system, I don't advocate that, because I've tried that myself in the past for many times.
Right.
What happens is we end up feeling deprived. We're craving everything we're not eating, and then we go and binge after the fact. Now,
right.
To me,
You gain back everything you might have lost.
yeah. So it makes no sense. It's not common sense. So
Right.
what I advocate is to make that part as an extension of an already healthy lifestyle. Don't do it,
Right.
do it before. It's too much. It's too much.
Right. Exactly. Okay, I love that. So what can listeners do to get started on a healthier plan right away?
Well, one simple thing that somebody can do right away that is missing from so many people's lives, is just unbelievable how much this one simple thing is missing. And when I say it, and I was like, oh, drum roll, and then it's like, what? No, it's water. We are at least 70% water, and so many people are dehydrated. And
Right.
hunger can show up as dehydration.
Mhm.
When people are hydrated, their skin often improves. Constipation can be as a result of dehydration. You get brain fog. There's just so many benefits to drinking water. I had a client once who, most people find it challenging to drink water, I have to say. But she ended up putting it in her eyesight when she was sitting down at night. And then
Right.
she would drink it. So, the takeaway is, it's got to be somewhere near you for you to drink it. For me, I just drink. I love it. There you go. I see yours.
I don't leave home without it.
Well,
That includes my backyard.
I moved into my living room from my kitchen because I thought I was going to get unfuzzed here, and my water is out in my kitchen. I could go and get it. It's on my breakfast bar. But yeah, it's a real biggie, a real big one. And that alone is like, you don't have to count anything. You don't have to, it takes, a minute to get it. It's like, it's so easy. It's just a really good place to start. And,
Perfect. I love it.
Don't try to do everything all at once. Just choose 2 or 3 things, or even one, just something, and get started.
Like, just cut out the fried foods to start, or cut out one really not so good for you thing that you're eating, and don't get overwhelmed by it, right?
Yeah, actually, my third P in my book, Perception, is where I talk about upgrades. And that it's a big section. And in my course where I've videoed everything, it's like the real, it's put in section 3 because it would be too much to have people do right at the beginning.
Right.
So it's so whatever we're eating that we love, let's say we've got lots of pasta lovers out there. There are upgrades to pasta. That doesn't mean you give up your pasta, but let's say people are eating the white stuff. You can get some whole wheat pasta. And instead of having all of it whole wheat, or even rice pasta, I use actually, you could just put a bit of each in until the palate catches up to taste buds catch up. Another good one is zucchini. I have this spiral slicer, and it costs $20. And then you can put zucchini in. You just spin away with it. It's this great little contraption or gadget, and it comes out like spaghetti, and you wouldn't really know the difference once you've got your meal on it.
Huh.
You know, for some people, I think just getting that spoon and twisting the fork, going through the motions and getting spaghetti on the spoon is part of it. So zucchini is a really good alternative and an upgrade. There's just so many fun, creative ways and things we can do that, you know, structured diets, it's always focused on counting something. Not so many aren't focused on nutrition,
Right.
on the nutritional component.
Right.
But you know, there's plenty of people out there that don't have weight issues, that aren't feeling well and have symptoms. So it's really about the quality of the food, not so much even the quantity, although that is a piece of it. You know, the quality is really key.
And I guess with the quantity, people don't have to eat till they feel full. They can eat till they're satisfied, right?
Right.
Like I was having, I went to, you know, a big box grocery store yesterday and had lunch with a business colleague. And I bought one of those big, huge bowls of salad that there's no way, you know, you'd buy it for your family, right? But we happened to be there and it was like a healthy alternative, and started to eat it. And I probably only ate, I don't know, maybe a handful of it. Like I barely made a dent in it. And it was like, okay, I think I'm done. You know, like you didn't have to keep eating until you were like, you know, and of course I'm talking about salad, so it's not going to kill you anyway. But, you know, um, it's listening to your body, right?
Yeah.
It's listening to your body tell you, okay, I think I'm good. You know, I think we're good. So I had some more this morning, and I still have barely made a dent into this big, huge bowl. So I, you know, basically told my kids, go and have some salad because there's no way they're going to finish it either. It's so big, right? But you know, I totally know what you're saying and totally aware of everything. Doing it, right? It's making those choices and doing it. It's not having the pancakes with Nutella on it that I would love to have, and choosing the healthier alternative, right?
Can I ask you, how do you want to your life to be when you get, you know, like 10 years from now? How do you see your life in terms of how your body functions, how you feel? Do you want to, I assume you want to feel well and able to do all these things that you do now, right? You don't want to have you don't want a diagnosis, you don't want to be laid up somewhere.
Nope.
Right?
Not at all. Yep.
So a perception switch, a switch in perception is that it's like if we started to invest in a pension plan, you know, when we're 50, it's not going to have as much time to accumulate as if we started earlier.
Right.
So
right.
If you start, you know, the more we can do today, regardless of where we are in life, the more we'll have to work with. It's like putting deposits in the bank or in a portfolio. You know,
Right.
you're building. And if we keep depleting, so every time we have something that's, you know, we know is real crap, it's putting us further in the red. It's like putting a bank account into overdraft. Now, I know the body is not a bank account. I know it is a chemistry lab. You know, JJ Virgin makes that quite clear, and I agree. But I think using the bank, your bank account as a metaphor, it kind of drives it home.
Right.
So the bigger question is, how do we want to live? And I know that people really don't want to live with aches and pains and taking pills and being limited. And it's what we do today that shapes our tomorrow. So it's not about not having. I've never been into pancakes. Was never a British thing. We only had them on
One of my favorites. And then Nutella and put them together.
Oh, I'll have to come up with an upgrade for you on that one. Well, maybe
Yeah, you'll
here's
have
your
to.
homework.
So we have 5 minutes left, Ellie, and I want to ask you 2 more questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
So first of all, tell us why you think diets just don't work. Because 60 billion people are doing it, and some are successful and probably most are not. So why do you think they just don't work?
In general, because they are something we start, and they have a start and an end. They're not a lifestyle. And the word diet is so misused in our society. Our diet is really what we eat, but there's so many ways of eating that have been given the label of a diet. A friend of mine was very unwell earlier this year and ended up having to go to different hospitals and different tests. It was very worrying. She found out what the problem was. She has it under control. But she said to me, Ellie, I think I should start the Mediterranean diet. Now, many of us know that, the Mediterranean diet is considered a healthy diet, but it's still a diet. So if somebody is thinking, well, have I had my, healthy oil today? Have I had my fruits and vegetables today? If you've always got to still be thinking about food, it's still, you might as well be counting points or calories or something. No matter what the name of the diet is, I could have come out with the Savoy diet. Wow, let's try that then. Let's try the Savoy diet. But I'm just all about stop dieting.
Right.
So that's why I think it's like it pigeonholes us into something. When I
brings you back to the perception, right?
Yeah. When I did my training at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to get my holistic health coaching qualification, they came up with their own diet that they call the 90-10 diet, and I studied over 100 diets in that course. And even then, I'm not knocking what they came up with, but I just want to use this as an example. They came up with the 90-10 diet. Now it sounds like, oh, great, could do 90% good and 10% not so good. But where's the 90% and where's the 10? Like where does one end and one begin? It's still too mechanical. If I had to keep thinking about, well, what have I done? If I had 90% good today and 10%, oh, I can eat junk tonight. It's just, it takes up too much room in my head to be thinking about what I've had instead of keeping my focus on just eating well.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you, Ellie. Now, where can people get your book and where can they get in touch with you?
Well, my website is my name, elliesavoy.com. And you can grab a free copy of my book there. It's a PDF version of my book. It's all the content of my book. But if somebody wants to get it on Kindle or paperback or even audio, I recorded it. It's available on Amazon. So
perfect.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my website here in the chat.
Perfect. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
okay. Well, that's awesome. So can they get your book there too?
Yes, they can. They can get the PDF version of the book, but it's the whole book. It's not just a snip of it. It's the whole thing. So if somebody doesn't want to buy it, they still have access to it. I'm all about getting
the downloadable.
Yes.
Oh, so you're giving the downloadable for free?
Yes.
That's awesome. You're wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. That's really kind of you. So please, everybody, download Ellie's book because I know she's a phenomenal lady. Helped a lot of people. And, I'm thrilled to have you in my life now and to have you in Empowering Women to Succeed book as well, sharing your story. So if you guys want to get that, I am actually also going to give you guys another freebie where you can go to this website and download the first volume and have that for free as well. So you got a couple of freebies there, guys and gals.
We all love a
You've got
freebie.
you got some great stuff from Ellie and I, and we want to thank you for listening to us and joining us. Ellie, it's been such a pleasure, an incredible conversation with you. I've really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
chatting with you. I always enjoy chatting with you,
Oh, I
and I'm going to put it out there to the universe. I am going to connect with you.
Yay! Yeah,
Okay.
we could talk for hours, Randy. You know what we're like. You're a great interviewer and a great connector, and you're doing wonderful work out there as well. And you always look, you're just like the Energizer Bunny. I don't know what you're doing, really. I think you must still be doing a lot of good stuff for yourself because you have plenty of energy.
For the most part, I eat pretty healthy. It's just the odd, naughty thing that enters my mouth. So, but I still can't seem to budge. But that's another story. We'll talk about that on the phone.
All right.
But thank you so much for tuning in. And Ellie, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. And thank you to Gordon, my business partner, for everything that you've done and helping to create this series and connecting with incredible, wonderful people. So thank you to everybody. I'm very grateful. And please connect with us. My empowerment radio show, where you can hear. I'm going to podcast this if that's okay with you, Ellie.
Yeah.
So we will podcast this as well, so you guys can hear the conversation if you missed it today. And Ellie, I look forward to connecting with you again. So thank you again for being with me here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have an awesome day.
Thanks. You too. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.